Hello, hello, and welcome back to Peace and Plenty in 20. I'm your host, Janine Deramo, midlife coach for women. I am here today to share with you something that's been going on in my world, and I'm going to guess in a lot of yours, considering it's what we call Maycember. It's the busiest month of the year, aside from December, especially if you have any school age children, even college. It's just a crazy time of year. And even if you don't have school age children, between graduations and parties and communions and confirmations and getting ready for the summer, it's just a really busy time. Um, and the past few weeks for me have been really fun. I've done some traveling. I've had a lot of great family time. I've had celebrations, some of the ones I just mentioned, and some stressful things also. But as much as I am grateful for those times, it still doesn't take away from the fact that I'm totally out of routine. I'm being fully transparent, totally honest. Just again, being sick, traveling, stressful events, work, juggling the girls. My routine has been shot the past like 4 weeks, which is not really a great feeling. Um, and that's challenging for anybody to get back on track after that. But for some reason, for me, it's just always felt extra hard, right? Like I have this image in my head of a moving treadmill, and I keep getting ready to jump onto it, like reach for the handlebars, whatever you want to call them, but I just can't seem to get my footing. So instead, honestly, it just feels easier to go lie down and avoid it altogether. And again, that's not a great feeling. That's not something I want to feel. So, what do you do if you're like me and you get out of routine, but you're also a person who falls into this kind of all or nothing mode? Admittedly, I've always been one of those people that just lives in this place of I'm either doing everything, I'm either doing all the things, overachieving, overfunctioning, overgiving, or I'm doing nothing at all, frozen, like in that state of freeze, right? Just fried, and I'm just scrolling through my phone or watching crime documentaries, just trying to subconsciously soothe my nervous system. So honestly, that this type of behavior is a big part of what led me to the coaching world in the first place. Primarily for me to get coached myself, but then to also become a certified coach myself and help other women who feel this same way. And it's also part of why I created Peace and Plenty in 20. No, excuse me, Peace and Plenty, the brand. This is the show that goes with the brand. Um, Part of why I created my brand to be what it is because I wanted to explore a life that has balance and regulation and feels sustainable. And especially for those of us whose brains don't maybe fit the traditional mold. So, what I mean by that is if you are someone who struggles with this idea of like kind of all or nothing, or you get overwhelmed very easily, you tend to have decision fatigue. It's really difficult to make decisions. Maybe you just can't start tasks. Like there's things you know that you have to do, and you're like, why can't I just do it? Like, what is wrong with me? And then we start that like negative self talk, which I am so guilty of. We start gaslighting ourselves. It's a messy place in our head. But if you are someone that feels that way, if you have struggled with this, like me, I wanted to do this episode today to let you know that you're not alone. It is very hard to live in our society and live in this world that's expecting us to operate at full speed 100% of the time. We are being bombarded with so much stimuli, so much sensory overload, so many responsibilities that it is hard for anyone to navigate that, right? But it's even harder if your brain works a little differently. You may have heard this term, neurodivergent, which basically means that your cognitive functioning is different from what's considered neurotypical. Um, and what neurotypical means is that I did a little bit of a deep dive into this. I'm not going to bore you with the science unless you're interested in it. It's basically from all the psychological and neurological research over the years and science. It's like a statistical norm for how brains are supposed to develop and then operate. So if you have some neurodivergence, meaning your brain functions a little bit differently, it affects things like your focus, your follow through on things, how you regulate your emotions and feelings, how you handle time, how you handle planning or preparedness, or how you handle change or transition. And I want to note it's not a disorder, it's just like a different operating system. Okay. And a lot of us were never taught how to work with it. We were just taught to try harder. And this is especially challenging if you are somebody who might have been like high performing, let's say like in school. So for me, yeah, I got my A's. I was, a really good writer. I was in the gifted and talented program. But yet there were so many aspects of school that I struggled with. I was very chatty in class at times. I would forget things all the time. And I remember getting punished for it. And I also struggled with a lot of like mathematical concepts. And it was really, I've talked about this with my therapist, it was really a mind F, if you will, trying to not put the explicit warning in this episode. It was really like, it really messed with my mind because I'm like, there's clearly something wrong with me that everybody's looking at me as I'm supposed to be, this A student and function and gifted student and all this stuff, but I can't remember to bring my homework, or I forget my bag at home, or I forget. And all the well-meaning teachers and my parents in my life were not trying to shame me necessarily, but I felt shame because it wasn't like I was trying to mess up. It wasn't like I was so frustrated with myself. So to have other people be frustrated with me on top of it, really, really messed with me. So I'm bringing this up because if this is kind of a way of being that you've functioned with, I think it's important for you to consider that there might be some neurodivergence going on, that your brain just doesn't necessarily operate the same as people around you. And I have finally, after, I'm 50 now, but after, I guess, I started to recognize it probably, I'm going to say in like third grade. So what's that? 40, I don't know, 42 years it took me to come to terms and to accept that it's not that I'm just lazy. It's not that I'm disorganized. All these labels that I really kind of put on myself, I'm just wired differently. And now that I know that, I don't beat myself up as much. I'm not going to lie and say I never do it, but I really give myself a lot more grace. When I procrastinate, when I lose momentum, when I struggle to stick to a system, I recognize it now, not as a character flaw, but just as an executive functioning challenge. And so now I am inspired to help other women recognize this within themselves and work with them. So if what I'm describing sounds like you can relate to it or sounds like your inner world, here's what I want to say to you very clearly. You're not imagining it. You're not crazy. And if you've ever had those thoughts, and I have those, like, what is wrong with me? Am I crazy? Why? It's really, it is, there is a lot of shame involved. It's like embarrassing. Like, here I am, I can do all these things, but I struggle with some really basic, everyday tasks and skills. So again, I want you to know there's a real reason that you feel that way, and you don't have to keep beating yourself up for it. Because the good news is you don't have to like make this massive overhaul of your life. You just need to make some small shifts, have some strategies, have some tools just to help you feel better about it, right? And unfortunately, the way we've tried to fix it or feel better about it are things that are, mass produced, like planners. Oh my gosh, I'll buy, 5 new planners a year until this year when I finally found one that worked for me with my brain, right? Or we go online and we buy like a new system or a 30-day meal prep calendar or 5 a.m. wake up time. And this relates to like our nutrition and our body journeys too, and staying consistent with that, with eating and exercise. They're very intertwined. This is some deep work. But for today, all I want you to know is that just taking one next right step at a time is all you need to do. Something small, something realistic, something to build trust in yourself again. Because when we fall off track, how I'm feeling right now, I was feeling very overwhelmed yesterday, or was it the day before? It doesn't matter. Because I'm thinking like I'm looking at my list and I'm looking around my house and I'm like, oh my gosh, now that I've kind of been out of it, now I gotta rehaul everything. I gotta fix everything. No, no. Stop. Janine, talk to myself. Take a breath. We're gonna just do things one step at a time. So that's what's helping me right now. I wanted to share what I'm personally doing to like ease back into a more natural, grounded daily flow. So here are the things that I've been doing. The first thing is just making sure I do those grounding habits, right? Like simple things that I can do daily that require minimal effort, but are going to help me regulate my nervous system because I know it was so out of whack. So today, unfortunately, it's raining, but I do have a treadmill downstairs. Go for a walk. I'm talking 5 minutes. If you have 10, because once you're out there, once you're on the treadmill, odds are you're going to go even longer. So, what else could help ground yourself? If it is nice, go outside, just put your feet in the grass, breathe the air. I like to do guided meditations. Again, my Peloton app has great ones. The Calm app, there's so many different places you can get them. You could go on YouTube. Journaling. Get those emotions and thoughts out of your brain and onto the paper. I will actually give you or link you to on my Instagram a list of grounding activities you can do. So that's the first thing I would suggest. The second thing I'm doing is I am just doing the tasks that I have to do in short bursts of time. So I'll set my timer. For those of you that don't know, I have my little timer here. Excuse me, I need a sip of water. And I'll set it for 15, 20, 30 minutes, short periods of time to do the things I've been avoiding doing or the things that I know need to get done. And if it's things that I've been avoiding doing, like cleaning out the girls' closets with them, of course, with their help, I'll set a timer, and I don't want the pressure because I also do not work I'm going to take back what I was about to say. I was about to say I don't work well under pressure, but that's also conversely not true because sometimes being under pressure is the only way that things get done. But I'm talking about putting the pressure on myself of this closet better look perfect by the time that bell rings, by the time that timer goes off. And that's the kind of pressure I don't want to put on myself. So I'll set it and say I'm going to get done as much as we get done, snap a little picture with my iPhone of the progress and where we stopped and where I can pick up on the next day, setting a timer again. What else am I doing? So those are two things that I'm doing. Oh, the third thing is giving myself that permission. Like that's kind of what I was just saying to go slow. You don't have to get it all done today. You probably have your top three. I usually list a top three. Like these are the must do's for today. So as long as I cross them off, I'm good. Give yourself the permission to know it will get done and to not feel like it all has to be done that day, because that can, if you have a neurodivergent brain like me and you start thinking about all the things that have to be done, we are automatically in overwhelm. Brain dump them, get them all down on the paper, but then just start slowly chipping away at it. Like I am looking around my house now. I have to tell myself I don't have to have every room cleaned up and organized today. I don't have to meet every physical health goal today. I don't have to go on the treadmill and make sure I hit 100 grams of protein and take all my supplements and make sure that I have drunk my 2 jugs of water. And I mean, there's like 10 things. So pump the brakes, do what you can. I'm going to do what I can, and just one step at a time. But I'm slowly getting back into that routine, because the old version of me saying getting back into routine thought that the perfectionist in here and the rigidity and the all or nothing part of my brain tells me you need to check off all these things. If you're getting back into a routine, like to me, routine feels like these are all the things you have to do every day and check them off and do them perfectly. And that's just not the case. It's really not. So I remind myself, as long as I stay in motion, even if it's slow, I am still moving forward. So if you have been feeling out of rhythm, if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling stuck in that all or nothing mode, here's what I want you to try this week, okay? Here's your action step. First, just pick one small way to support your nervous system. And then pick one small task that you've been avoiding. That's it. Not clear your to-do list, not literally check off and cross off everything in your planner. Just do something grounding. Grab an inspirational book. I love to do that too. Grab a quote, a passage from a favorite book. I can recommend some to you. I love Untamed, The Gifts of Imperfection. I mean, I have a bookshelf here, or a daily devotional. Just reading even a few lines of something will center you. The next thing I said, set a 10-minute timer, right? Just do the thing, just a little of it. No pressure to finish it, just begin. And guess what? If you finish it, awesome. So remind yourself, progress over perfection. All you have to do is stay moving forward. Slow progress is still progress. And momentum builds gently when it's fueled by compassion. I also wanted to mention, if this episode is hitting home for you, meaning you found yourself nodding along, saying, that's me. I get so overwhelmed. I overthink. I beat myself up and I feel like I should be able to handle all this, but I can't do it consistently. Let's talk, friend. That's what I do. I help women just like you, high achieving, high capacity, learn how to stop burning themselves out and feel balanced and clear and in control, and just have a simple plan, and to learn to just stop being so hard on yourself and seeing what we can do, what tools, what strategies, how I can support you to slowly live with more ease, but still feel successful and feel more confident and have more energy. Those are all the things that I was struggling with a few years ago. So I've got a few spots open for free strategy sessions. I'd love to hear what's going on with you and how I can help. So the link is in the YouTube description here. I think it's also on my main YouTube page, or just message me on Instagram, Janine M. Daramo. You could also send me an email, janine@janinedaramo.com, and let's set up a time to chat. This is my passion, talking about this. Signing off, let's just remember, you don't need to do it all. You don't need to do it perfectly. You just need to do something aligned with your brain, your season of life, and your values. That's it. That's how we find peace, and that's how we make room for plenty. I'll see you guys next week. Peace.